I sat in this room from my insurance background and knowing and understanding what happens with these flood zones, and tried to come up with solutions as to how the insurance department and the financial institutions can help the residents in those areas. One way to help is to make it stop flooding. We have to invest in Ondog Creek, not just near the Inner Harbor, all the way to the city line to the south, to make sure that we can fix these flood zones, invest and make it not flood.
And actually, before you go, I'm going to let Howie go because we have a little battery. So it's just a function. Leave it alone. Howie, it's your turn.
Okay, I think we need a county land use plan that's enforceable, which means we need federal government. The consensus proposal is not the way to go. It would consolidate segregation. But we should keep moving toward that with proportional representation and a federation of our local governments at the metro level. With an enforceable county land use plan, then we can stop the sprawl, which is related to inner city decay, and redevelop the communities that have been disinvested from. We need inclusionary zoning to desegregate the housing, which will lead to desegregating the schools. And we need neighborhood-directed planning within the county land use plans for local communities. On Dr. Creek, I agree with you. We need to de-channelize that creek so it won't flood, create waterfront property so we can bring some middle-class people in to mix it up in that mostly poor community. And for climate action, we need public power to go to solar power. We can build renewable sources if we're a public power utility. And National Grid is not going to do it. Take the street lights for 19 minutes.
Howie, that's your time. Wait, Howie. I said I was going to go finish his last sentence.
We hear you, Howie. Great job. Land use starts with one thing for me, and that's car dependency. The way you define a city is whether they're car dependent or not. Route 81 was the start of suburban sprawl in central New York, and we still continue to subsidize commuters out of the city at a record pace. If we're serious about investing and building wealth in the city of Syracuse, we really think about the way we use our land. We got to get rid of, and I think in the new zoning policy, we're getting rid of parking minimums. You know, the reason why it costs so much to live in downtown Syracuse is primarily because you have to pay for parking, and the developers have to pay for that parking, and it ups the cost. If you look at any city in America that actually has growing population, bikeability, walkability are central to that, and that's the land use planning policies that we need to start thinking about. How to create safer neighborhoods and safer streets by reducing car dependency.
Thank you.
You know, in regards to the creek walk, you know, we really must look at how we change that channel so that it doesn't flood. I can tell you this right now, if the majority of the people who was affected by that flood zone moved out and a different group of people moved in, that problem would be fixed tomorrow. Because it would be economically feasible to bring in a whole new channel of people. So we have to be real honest about economic depression in certain areas. That's real. The other piece is this, you know, we have, the other piece is this, you know, I said it on the outset, the land bank. I'm not completely against the land bank, but we need to bring back the dollar houses. We get people in these houses, we take 48% of the people who are currently paying the tax, 100% of the taxes, put those houses back on the tax roll. That will help increase. But people who live in these communities, don't sell your house, because believe me, regentrification is on the move.
Thank you. And so with that, given that Laura, you didn't answer that original question, you have a question that is directed towards you. So I'm going to go ahead and read this one from the audience. Everything that I've heard you, and they don't have a name on the back. Everything that I've heard you talk about has been schools. The city is not schools. What will you do to raise revenue and bring economic resources? And how will we trust that you will recognize local hires when your action toward the Onondaga Nation school shows prejudice? trust that you will recognize local hires when your actions toward the Onondaga Nation School shows prejudice.
No one would be able to
Please,
discuss.
I'm sorry, Laura,
I'm sorry.
if you were the author of that question and you would like to be recognized. Oh, well, there's another person who said that they wanted to stand.
That was my question.
So,
Okay, we both have the same thing.
cool. Go ahead.
Okay, it's a two-part question.
Yes.
I've had feedback from a few people who indicate that they don't feel that a mayor should be involved in public education. I can't disagree more strongly. The way to invite people to be in the city of Syracuse is to create a public school system that is successful and that will lead to high achievement among the children. At the Southside TNT meeting, when the members were asked to vote on the #1 concern and priority that they have as a group,